Hey everybody, hope you guys are all doing okay. Welcome to another bonus video here in Might and Magic VII. In this video we're going to be looking at Genie Lamps. This is one of the few game mechanics that we didn't look at during our regular playthrough, and you know what, that's fine. It's, to be fair, pretty complicated, and it is the kind of thing that is best looked at in its own dedicated video. Now you can think of these Genie Lamps as pretty similar to the Deck of Fate from Might and Magic VI, in that if you use them, they'll give you a bonus. That the kind of bonus you get and the size of the bonus depends on when you use it, and there's also a chance of getting negative status effects. So right now on Thursday, December the 25th, if I use it, I get air resistance. I use it again, I get a different resistance. I use it again, I get air resistance again. So what's happening is, if you use it in December, the bonus is a random resistance. And the strength of the bonus depends on how late in the month you use it. So days 1 to 7, I think you get the weakest bonus. Days 8 to 14, you get the second weakest. Then in the third week of the month, you get the second highest bonus. And in the last week, days 22 to 28, you get the biggest bonus. Now, the type of bonus I mentioned depends on which month you're in, and I'm going to try right now to pop up on the screen exactly which bonuses you get in which month. And if it works correctly, you'll notice a few things. And you'll notice a couple differences from the Deck of Fate, which was its rough counterpart in Might and Magic VI. Chiefly, look at the bonus for October. That is correct. If you use this in October, you just straight up get extra skill points, which is by far the most valuable bonus. And the reason I say this is because stats, the way they work in this game, if your stats are low, then getting, and when I say low, I mean like less than 30. If your stats are that low, then maybe getting +4 to strength, or might rather, or +4 to speed will give you a noticeable increase in how strong or how effective that character becomes. But the bigger your stats get, and right now not only are our base stats large, but they also have large bonuses through the Day of the Gods effect. And the larger your stats are, the bigger an increase in that stat you would need to get another noticeable bonus. And at this point, like, we literally need in the realm of like 50 or 100 stat points to get even +1 to damage through our might, or, you know, +1 or plus the next increment of hit points through endurance, you know, the recovery time for accuracy. We would need a lot of stats. And the small amount that you get from the Genie Lamps, if you use them that way, it wouldn't be worth it. Really, what you want to use them for is for the skill points. Now, there is also, you know, on a different month, you could use them to get experience, but look at the amount of experience it would need for us to hit the next level. So even if we got the biggest experience bonus, in terms of how much it helps us, the math is still in favor of just directly getting the skill points. You'd rather just have that. The problem with that, of course, is that it has to be in a specific month in the game. Mentioned in the beginning of the video, we're in December right now, and we are interested in bonuses that happen in the month of October. But I guess before we get to the bonuses and how we're gonna, you know, cause 10 months of in-game time to elapse, before we get to that, let's just quickly talk about some of the negative repercussions that you can have. So we were able to use them without any bad status effects. That's because we used them on a Thursday. If, on the other hand, we waited and used it on a Friday, same... Oh, I had already used up my lamps. So if we instead waited until a Friday and then use this lamp, Friday the 26th, you'll notice we did get a negative effect this time. Our character got turned to stone. By the way, I love the like the artwork for when characters get turned to stone, just because it looks really well made. And it's a shame that because our party is so strong, we've got so many immunities,
Isn't this nice?
we don't get to see these graphics that often. And the reason she said, "Isn't this nice?" is because each character, when they're the only one left standing, will say something, and I think that was her line, her acknowledgement that everyone else has been incapacitated. But yes, so on Friday the 26th, and I believe this will apply to Friday the 26th of any month, you will get turned to stone if instead we waited until Saturday the 27th. It'll cause your characters to die. Unfortunately, the death graphic is just a generic grave site, and all of them look the same. But
Isn't this nice?
this is what happens when you use them on Saturday the 27th, and we are unfortunately already past this, but I believe if you used it on Sunday the 21st, you would get eradicated. So that is one thing to bear in mind, is that bad things happen if you use it on these days. And a good way to, like, if you are intent on avoiding negative effects, and like, you could, you know, just cast a spell to undo them or go to a temple. But if you really want to avoid the negative effects, the simplest way is just don't use the lamp on a Friday, Saturday, or a Sunday. You have a whole week, you know, from the 28th, from the 22nd to the 28th of a month, where you get the highest bonus. That's 4 full days where you know you won't get a bad status effect. You know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Just use it on one of those days. All right. So that is all about the negative status effects, when they happen, and how to avoid them. Now we get to the crux of the issue. Because everything I've told you thus far, you could have just Googled it, and like, you could get a chart telling you exactly what bonus you get and on what day. But the bigger question is, what if you're in a situation like I am right now, where you're in December, the bonus you're interested in is in October. So I think that is the real meat of, you know, the real important part of this video, of this kind of tutorial, is that I'm going to tell you a quick, maybe, actually no, it is fairly quick, a fairly quick way to cause lots and lots of in-game time to elapse very quickly. Now this will require you to be fairly deep into the game. Specifically, you will want to have at least access to Nyan, and you'll want at least you'll want a few thousand pieces of gold to spare. But if you're this deep into the game, chances are you will have lots and lots of gold to throw around. Now what we need to do is we need to find the tavern, and I believe this is the place. In Nyan, the tavern is called Fortune's Folly.
Welcome, friend.
If you go inside, you'll notice they will sell you 60 food. Now this is the biggest amount of food that you can get from a single tavern.
Frog leg soup coming right up.
Most other places will give you less than that. I think the second highest is 30. And if you try and buy more food, like, you can't overstack on top of that. Like, on top of what the tavern can give you, The only other way is, I think, like by finding food on the ground, and that is like a very rare occurrence in this game. So mostly you'll be getting food through doing this, and unfortunately, whereas Might and Magic VI had a light magic spell that allowed you to create food, essentially having infinite food at all times, because you can cast the spell over and over again and then rest using the food that you just created, you can't do that in this game. So this is the next best option. Now, what was the point of buying all this food? Well, to do that, let's go to Erathia. And I recommend doing this. There might be other ways that are equally efficient, but I am most familiar with Erathia. What we're gonna do is, we're gonna just take the road west, and we're gonna walk west. And we're gonna walk until we hit the edge of the map, until it prompts us to do an area transition. And if you look at the sign, you'll see we're going towards Tatalia, and it says it will take 5 days in order to travel to Tatalia. It asks us if we want to leave. We're going to say yes. Now that has taken 5 units of food. It's also caused 5 days of in-game time to elapse. Now what we're going to do is, we're going to turn right back around. Oh, I guess we were already turned around. Hang on. I guess we weren't directly at the edge of the map. We were put a little bit away from the edge of the map. We're going to go straight back to Erathia. It's going to consume 5 more units of food, put us 5 more days into the future, and we're just going to rinse and repeat until all our food is gone. Just keep on doing this over and over again until all your food is gone. And this is the most tedious part of this process, but it is the simplest way to cause in-game time to elapse if you have no other option. Now, one other way to cause time to elapse is by training. Like each time you train, it'll kill a certain number of days of in-game time, but I'm doing it this way because you might not have the luxury of having a whole bunch of levels to train, and even us, all our guys can only gain 1 level each. So we might as well just do it this way, and as you can see, we are now in March. We've already killed several months, so if we do some rough math, then if we do this about maybe 2 more times, or 2 and a bit more times, we should be getting pretty close to October by then. And I don't know why I'm struggling to find the tavern all of a sudden. It shouldn't be that... oh, it's right there. It shouldn't be that difficult to find, and indeed...
Welcome, frog leg soup coming right up.
Indeed, it was right there, and we're just gonna go straight back to Erathia. Oh, wrong place. Wrong place. Now I'm gonna have to wait for my caster to recover. We wanted to go to Erathia, and now let us walk to the west again. It had to jump over those that fountain, and we're just gonna rinse and repeat to kill another 60 days of in-game time. And turn right back around, and just keep going. Just keep going. And each time you do that, it'll consume the 5 units of food, and it'll kill the 5 days of in-game time, and getting you closer and closer to that goal of getting to October. Alright, let's keep going. Let's keep going. I was thinking about maybe cutting this out, but I do want to keep it all in just to give you an accurate sense of how much time it takes. Just so you're prepared. Don't wanna be traveling with no food, because eventually if you do that, your characters start getting all sorts of weird, unwanted status effects. So right now we're in May. Another couple months have been killed. I keep walking to the wrong place. The tavern is right there. So we're gonna do this again.
Welcome, frog leg soup coming right up.
And I don't know what sound effect we heard just then, but that was kind of weird and unsettling. Something's probably trying to attack someone in the distance. Let's not... Yeah, somebody just died, but nobody's attacking us, so I don't know, let them do their own thing. Let's just go back to Arathia, and let's actually walk up the steps so we don't get stuck in the fountain again, and let us walk straight back. Excuse me? Excuse me? Alright. Just keep going back and forth and back and forth until you've done the thing. Extremely boring, I know, but it's what you gotta do. It's just what you've got to do, and eventually you will hit your target. So I'm doing it from what was close to the worst case scenario. Like the actual worst case scenario would be if you just missed October and you were in November, and we weren't quite that bad off, but almost, because we were in December, which is just 1 month later than that. So chances are for you, if you're not, like if you're in maybe, I don't know, like March or something, it'll take you fewer iterations of this process. But just
Welcome, frog leg
to
soup
be
coming
prepared,
right up.
you know, it could take you this long if, you know, you are in November or December and you want to get to October. So we're in July right now, getting closer and closer. I think after this round of using up all our food, then we're gonna actually have to start paying close attention to what the date is, because then if we're asleep at the wheel, we might even overshoot our target, and that would be, of course, quite an unfortunate situation, but we don't have to worry about it just yet. Have I gone in the... I got turned around somehow, but I think we're fine. Yeah, it always throws me off because you're not actually at the edge of the map. In Might and Magic VI, you would be like directly at the edge of the map. In this game, it scripts you to be in a certain location that's not quite at the edge. And then sometimes that throws me off and makes me forget which direction I went and which direction I need to go. But I think this time we've got a pretty good handle on it, so we're just gonna do... Oh, went to the wrong place. Jumped the gun a little bit. Don't need to go back to Arathia yet. Need to actually go back to Nyon to get some food, because we are in September, and pretty soon,
Welcome, frog leg soup coming right up.
within this round of doing the same thing, we will enter into October, and then that's when we're gonna have to actually start paying attention to what the exact date is, because we want to be... Remember the chart from earlier. We want to be in the last week of October, that is October the 22nd to the 28th. All of the months in this game have 28 days, so they perfectly line up with the... You know, each month being 4 weeks. So they perfectly line up with the weeks. Like the months and the weeks are in a nice bit of harmony. I wish our calendar worked that way, but sadly it doesn't. So we are in October right now, and it's Wednesday, so let's actually save in this slot. And just to confirm, we are in the month where it's giving us skill points, but we don't want to settle for 4, not when we can get more than 4. So we want to be, as I mentioned, in the last week of October. Right now we're in October the 22nd. At this point, I'm gonna stop causing time to elapse that way, because I don't want to, like, we're not gonna overshoot our target. But just to be even safer, we're gonna go to the inn,
Come in.
where we can
Enjoy your stay.
cause time to elapse in a much more precise way, one day at a time. So right now we are at Sunday the 21st, and just because I didn't get a chance to show it earlier, if you use it on Sunday the 21st, you get eradicated. And unfortunately, the eradication graphic is also the same for every character. It's this rather scary looking skull. But yes, that's what happens on Sunday the 21st. And I think there's also like an earlier Sunday where you, like an earlier Sunday in the month, the 7th maybe, I don't know. Like, the gist of it is, don't use it on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday if you want to avoid these bad status effects. And now, let's go.
Come in. Enjoy your stay.
One more day. We are now Monday the 22nd. Now, this should mean two things. This should mean that, number one, we are getting the highest bonus, which in this case is 8 skill points. Let's confirm that. Indeed we are. And of course, we are also not getting any negative status effects. So let's use all of these, and the reason I'm giving them to this character is because she is our priestess. She is our light magic user, and I wanted to give her... I don't want to do that. I wanted to give her the ability potentially to get more points into light magic, because that's what I'm leveling. We didn't get enough skill points to do that, but you know what? We almost got all the way, like 24 skill points. It's a pretty nice amount to get. And had I been more, like, paying more attention to items on the ground, and had I been picking up more of these genie lamps as I found them, we could have gotten more skill points that way. So this is by no, like, I have by no means been doing this in the most min-max kind of way in this series, but just so you know, you can get a lot of skill points if you pay attention to these items, and like, if you go out of your way to look for them especially. So yes, I think that is going to be all for this episode. I think we've covered everything. We've covered the like, we took a look at the chart. I'll have the source where I got that in the description as well, which showed us which months you get which bonuses in, and at which point during the month you get the highest bonus. And we also looked at the negative status effects, and we also did a quick tutorial on how to pass in-game time if you want to get to a specific part of the year. In this case, we wanted to get to October to get that sweet skill point bonus. And I think that does just about cover everything that we wanted to talk about with these items. So yes, that is going to be all for this bonus video, and potentially that's going to be the last video that I make for this game. That is unless either I find something else that I didn't cover during either the main series or or the previous bonus video that I did, and I feel is important enough to do, or if somebody else alerts me to something and it turns out to be something important enough to cover. But if that doesn't happen, then this series may possibly be permanently closed, and that means that, of course, that it's going to be time for me to start preparing for my Might and Magic VIII series, which I'm not going to start right away. Number one, I need some time to rest, you know, because this project has been long. It's taken a lot of energy, and it's nice to rest before immediately jumping into something else. And of course, Might and Magic VIII is my favorite game. I know it very well, but I also want to make sure that I do a good, thorough job when I do my playthrough, so I will have to do a bit of research and a bit of testing before I start on the playthrough for that game. But yes, that is going to be all. Thanks for watching. Hope you had a good time. Hope you learned something. And if you're interested in these games and interested in perhaps watching a playthrough of them, I do have a series on Might and Magic VI. I have a full series on Might and Magic VII as well. And pretty soon, we're going to be doing Might and Magic VIII. So if that's the kind of thing that interests you, then, why not consider subscribing, just so you can be up to date on when those series do end up starting. So yes, I thank you for watching once again, and whether you're here just for this particular tutorial video, or whether you're here, or whether you're a regular at the channel, or whether you're someone who's new but who intends to stick around maybe and watch some of the other things that we're gonna do. Either way, I appreciate you sharing this time with me today, and I wish you, I hope you have a nice day. And yeah, I think that's gonna be all. So take care.